Welcome to Hamim Loyal. This is Eric Grissom.
And I'm Dan Johnson. Eric and I will be rewatching the iconic Twin Peaks from the pilot through the return and everything in between.
If this is your first time watching, or if you're a longtime fan, you can watch along with us as we dive deep into the strange and wonderful world of Twin Peaks.
We live inside a dream.
Today on Meanwhile, Dan and I, Dan, we're at the return part 15. There's some fear in letting go, and that's how I feel about the impending end of our run on the return here.
Yeah, me too. Every day is getting, it's more exciting because there's less time left and more action every episode. But yeah, we're getting closer to the point where we have to say goodbye to all these weirdos.
Yeah, I mean, part 15, I remember when we were doing part 3, and I was like, when we talked about part 15, like it was going to be years away.
Forever away.
And here it is. So yeah, we're I guess more than halfway through the back half at this point. And let's go through it. Before we get to it, though, one note that occurred to me while I was putting together stills that I liked from episode number 13, which we're 2 weeks ahead, that would have went out today, was the boxing match that Sarah is watching. I wonder if that boxing match is battling Bud fight, Bushnell Mullins fight.
Oh, what a good question. Yeah, that'd be awesome if it was.
Yeah, I don't know if it is or not, but
great.
Just, you see his poster, the battling Bud poster, and so when I put the video, I made sure to include both those images to put it in someone's head. Also, I heard from someone on Instagram, Cat Temper Meow, who is a lifelong Eraserhead fan, and they've recorded their own custom soundtrack to Eraserhead that you can find. I will put a link to their Instagram. It's very interesting. It's cool music soundscape that they put to Eraserhead footage. So I'm always happy to promote creative work. So keep them cards and letters coming, Dan. All right, let's get to it. Dan, this is part 15, the return, part 15. There's some fear in letting go. Of course, it aired on August 20th, 2017. Do you remember where you were? I know where I was, and that was in front of the TV, and now I'm in front of Dan. So let's talk about this wonderful episode.
Oh, it's you.
Jeffries.
Thank God.
Why did you send Ray to kill me?
What? I called Ray.
So you did send him. Did you call me 5 days ago?
I don't have your number.
So it was someone else who called me?
We used to talk.
Yes, we did.
Well, now, I'm not going to talk about Judy. In fact, we're not going to talk about Judy at all.
1989. You showed up at FBI headquarters in Philadelphia and said you'd met Judy.
So, you are Cooper.
Philip, why didn't you want to talk about Judy? Who is Judy? Does Judy want something from me?
Why don't you ask Judy yourself? Let me write it down for you.
Eric, let's get started. We'll take a little walk along Highway 21, hand in hand with Nadine, as she's walking to Big Ed's gas farm to give him his freedom.
Yeah, man, what a great scene. What a great opening moment to see Nadine, Wendy Roby, I'll love you forever, walking down the street with that shovel over her shoulder. And I love seeing the gas farm like this because you don't usually get these exterior shots, these outside shots of the gas farm. Now, this is a different location than the show. So in the pilot, there was one location. And then when they shot the series, it was like a different location. And then there's this one. So there's been 3 gas farms. Take your pick. It's like the Palmer House, right? So there's multiple Palmer House. There's 2 Palmer houses. There's 3 gas farms. Add them up, it's a 5. Add a 2, we got a 7.
No.
I hate when she calls herself a bitch. It's hard to watch when Nadine says that about herself. She says she's been selfish, that he's been a saint. Now, he was cheating on her for years, but, you know, in my head, since episode 29, he's been good. He and Norma have not been together. And as much as I don't like her saying that thing, there is some truth to what she says. But all of this also feels very much like Ed's dream. And maybe it's seen a little bit through Ed's own desires. But man, Wendy Roby is just dynamite. I mean, her smile will light your world. You're running low on gas. You just stop over to Nadine's house, have her just throw up in those pearly whites, and you'll be on your way. You'll be cruising on down that highway. It's a wonderful smile. Her saying like,
Ed, I love you and always will. But true love is giving the other what makes them happy. Jeez, you big lug.
wonderful. And then calling him a big lug, which is just like episode 2. Remember in episode 2 in the original series, like Ed comes home, Nadine runs at him top speed.
Ed!
Oh my God.
Oh, Ed, I'm so happy, sweetheart. I have to thank you.
What's that?
You don't know what you've done for me.
No, I don't.
Oh, Ed, you big lug.
Jumps into his arms, like he had done something for her in that moment. He popped a grease gun. The grease got on the cotton balls, and that's the reason why they're silent. She calls him a big lug. And here, she's doing something for him that's wonderful. And Everett McGill's face, the face acting that he does at the end, when you watch it go from like confusion to processing to like revelation.
Yeah.
It's really something.
The scene is great in the way that it starts off such a long walk of Nadine walking with that confidence up the highway with the shovel over her shoulder. She has a light inside her because she's really made this decision and she knows it's the right one. And it's this clarity that she has. Also, her costuming to me, I don't know why, but it really reminds me of Nadine as high school student. Like it just looks like a throwback sort of period costume for some reason. The skirt almost feels like it's out of time or something. I like that about it. It just, for me, felt like a subtle callback to where the character's been, all the crazy things she's done. And now she gets a chance to resolve this with Ed. That's been brewing there for so long.
That's a callback for you. That's a period of Nadine's life I never want to remember. Nadine in high school, never. Not on my watch, mister. What'd you say? You said
I don't know
she's
what I
full
said.
of light?
Yeah, there's a light coming from her.
She's like beaming. I feel like that's such a great way of describing her.
Absolutely. And when she says, yeah, I agree. It is. She's very harsh on herself, but I think she's very accurate in her assessment of how she's been. And when she calls herself a selfish bitch, Ed's reaction of what is really funny. Like
Yeah.
he's not being sarcastic about it, but it really does read kind of both ways. Is really great. Like also, what is going on? There's something wrong with her. What's the next crazy thing that's coming out of Nadine that I have to deal with? Maybe.
Right. And he says like, hey, tomorrow you're going to wake up and think, why did I say this? So maybe she's done similar things before. She's had these.
Uh,
And I love her
yeah.
saying, like, no, I walked here.
Honey, tomorrow you're gonna wish you never said these things.
Ed, I told you, I walked all the way here. I had plenty of time to think, turn back, but I didn't, because this is how I really feel.
I had all of these opportunities to turn around and I didn't.
And I love the way that she has when she says this, "Oh God, Ed, I want you to be free." The way that she reads that is fantastic. It is this admission to him, but also this confession from herself and how earnest and true it is. It's just a very true scene, and I really like that for the two of them. And you're 100% right. I don't know what's the opposite of the phases of grief. It's as he goes through each of those moments of realizing, but also maybe some uncertainty. Like, can this really be true? There's so many emotions that happen in sequence across his face. It's incredible, and the fact that we go not to jump ahead, but that we go right from this into the next scene with Double R. We don't have to wait for it. We get to see all of this happen to lead up to. Here we go. Let's. Ed's gonna put the plan in action and take care of it. It's terrific.
Yeah, it's like that moment where you get all of your dreams and you just can't believe that it's actually happening.
Well, let's not delay those dreams. Let's head over to the Double R. Otis Redding sings Ed and Norma's song as she exercises her options.
So somebody just sent us a article. Alexis Berger, thank you for sending me over this article about Weekly World News. Physicists discover parallel dimension being explored by David Lynch. Hot off the press, came in as we were recording this episode. But I remember for like 8th grade, you had to bring in current events. And I would always clip articles from the Weekly World News. No, we're not here talking about my 8th grade civics teacher or whatever it was. We're here to talk about this wonderful scene that I've been waiting my whole life for. So yes, Otis Redding's I've Been Loving You Too Long, perfect song choice. Even before you watch Ed in his truck pull in, pop out, dust himself off. He is so excited for this moment. That wave that he gives her, just so much happiness. He expects, I just got the best news. I'm off the hook. I'm free. And you watch Norma's face just, I'm so sorry. And freaking Walter's walking in. 8 is not enough for this son of a bitch. Man, what a gut punch. Ed going to the counter. The music is still playing. Ordering a coffee. Shelley walks away and you just hear him say, and a cyanide tablet.
What can I get you, Ed?
Cup of coffee.
Coming right up.
And a cyanide tablet.
And buddy, I'll have what he's having. And then this is the sound design in this is just phenomenal. You go over to that booth and there's like this sustain. I think that's the right word.
Yep.
Where the note is just hanging there in the air. You can hear it wavering. It feels like it's stuck in place. It's incredibly cool. And then when she says she wants to spend more time at home, the music swells back up.
I thought you told me you didn't have any family.
No, I have a wonderful family. And I want to take care of them. I just spread myself too thin worrying about all these diners. I want to spend more time at home. There you go.
And your love is growing cold.
And all this talk about her family and her real family. And we know that's Shelley, Ed, Becky, her customers, her coworkers. It's such a great moment. And every time it goes back to Walter and he starts talking, the music hangs there again. And it feels like this is the real world intruding on this beautiful world of music that is the town of Twin Peaks.
Ooh, I'm loving
Norma, I respect your decision, even if I don't understand it. I'm just sorry you're not going to be part of what is going to be a great success.
Oh, and I know it will be. And I wish you the best of luck, Walter.
Ed also is like meditating. So you see him as just sitting there and he's meditating and you know he's like the world that he wants is coming into focus. And I love how long they allow to sit with Ed meditating before the hand comes,
Mhm.
before Norma's hand touches his shoulder, and they get that human connection, and his mouth quivering, and they're both finally getting what they've wanted since high school. I love this scene so much. It's so perfect. And watching Shelley watch them, and you're finally seeing like this love story that's been building, and every obstacle, every time you think it's working out, it's not working out, and it's finally happening. And I love Shelley's face and the smile that she's doing, and maybe it's going to change her life, but there are dark things in the sky. There are dark men on the move, and darkness is coming for Shelley too. But man, what a great scene. What are your thoughts?
Same. I mean, the music choice is perfect, and the fact that it's a live version as well just gives it so much more energy. Um, so you can hear like the audience in the background. Everything just feels really alive and electric. And yeah, Ed's the way he even gets out of the truck before he walks into the double R. This is it, man. Everything I've been waiting for whatever it is, his entire life practically, it's finally happening. It's finally here. Norma, don't you even know already by the way he's waving his hand? Like, this must be it. And then to get that gut punch, I think you called it, is exactly right. When, I'm sorry, Ed, Walter's here. Oh, it was just so crushing. But I really wanted to point out again, just the way that the sound design, the way the music is used throughout this, because it comes and goes at these different moments. Like you said at the beginning, it's blaring, it's jubilant, and then it's gone whenever Ed sits there, except for that one note hanging in the air throughout when he's orders his coffee and cyanide. It's silent when Norma talks with Walter, and comes back when she talks about her chosen family. Norma's deciding to exercise her options. Apparently, she was able to get out of this contract, keep her double R diner to herself, but she had to get bought out. Then, as Walter, wishes her luck, the music is back in a big way again. It resumes that huge swell. And I also love, like you said, we have a long moment of Ed sitting there at the counter with his eyes closed, meditating. And his smile begins before Norma even touches his shoulder.
Yeah, he can like hear him leave. I take it that way. Feel him leave.
That's what I like. Is I like thinking about it that way. He feels that this thing that he's been trying to will into existence his entire life is so close that he can taste it, is now picturing in his mind, is actually happening, and he can feel that turn as the universe is finally lining up for him. And to say to Norma, marry me, and the big kiss, of course I will.
No, no. I've been loving you just a little bit too long, and I don't want to stop now. No, no, no. And don't make me stop now.
Of course.
Oh, have mercy. No, baby. I'm down on my knees.
So good. And Shelley is all of us in that moment. Oh, just watching him with our hearts melting. Such a great moment. I love this.
Before we go off, I guess we got to take a moment and just say goodbye. It's the last time we'll see Norma, Ed, and Shelley.
Oh, geez.
So it's that's when you're at the end of the return. It's like, what a way, what a send off. Like, we can cut that out if that's a spoiler, but they're gone. This is their last episode.
Yes, it's a spoiler, but I kind of like knowing when people are gone. I kind of like it selfishly. I want to know.
It's not like
it's not a plot point.
It's not really a plot point or anything. It's the last time we see Norma, Ed, and Shelley, and it's kind of great. Like, Ed's only in 2 episodes, but man, ever since I saw this, I think about this moment all the time. Like, it's just a perfect end to their story. When you think about all of the stuff that they've gone through, I love it. It's fantastic.
It's great. Thank you for letting me know that. That is nice to know that they end that way. There's a lot of ends in this episode for sure. And the way this scene ends too. So we have the music. We go out of this scene with the music coming back up, full tilt, and we get the shot of the mountains outside of the double R. Get the shot of the blue sky and the mains hair clouds, wispy clouds in the sky, and it's absolutely bright and beautiful and perfect. and then it switches. So we have this moment. So we're on a dark and desolate road. Mr. C drives a convenience store and enters the Dutchman's lodge, and the tone shift couldn't be bigger.
I love seeing the power lines, the hum, the grain on the film stock is really, really cool. And as we're moving towards the source of some of that electricity, like the dark road, the sound of wind, and the engine just chugging, and then the music score picks up, and it's Threnody for the Victims of Hiroshima for 52 strings again that we heard in part 8. And he arrives at the convenience store / gas station. I'm at the convenience store. I'm at the gas station. I'm at the combination convenience store and gas station. We saw this in part 8. We also saw a little video clip of it when we were talking about searchforthezone.com blog, how they had a video of this convenience store. We've been talking about going above the convenience store from Mike telling us that in episode 2.
We lived among the people. I think you say convenience store. We lived above it. I mean it like it is, like it sounds.
When we covered part 8 too, I pointed out like there was those stairs and how they led up, but there was no second floor, and it felt like it was going to another dimension. And we watch Mr. C go up those stairs, and the choice of like overlaying woods and forest and mystery with this world is such a beautiful marriage of the natural and the supernatural together. It's just, it's wonderful. And he's going to enter the rose wallpapered room. Now, my socks blew right out of my shoes. I had to get a whole new pair of shoes when this aired and I first saw this.
This would look nice on your wall.
Like immediately returning to Laura's door picture that she got from Mrs. Tremond. And the woodsman, I don't know if you noticed, like the woodsman's sitting there and he's by an old record player with all these cool like tube amps. And record players have such meaning in this world. You know, got the record player in the Palmer home that's skipping when Maddie went down. You got the fireman's phonograph, the turning, the circular nature of a fan, of the platter of the record. But it also speaks to like the power and mystery of music and how effective and important music is in this world. The woodsman with the sparking light as well, like reminds me so reminiscent of like that guy that was working on a lamp in the office at Hap's Diner. If you remember when they were talking to Jack and like the sparking lights. The place that we're in now, this is the place above the convenience store where Laura went inside of the painting, is like a nexus point. And it connects worlds, and it can connect to the lodges. It can connect to the meeting place we saw on Fire Walk with Me, where they were all hanging out with the jumping man. It can connect to the vortexes, like the one that Gordon saw in South Dakota, and it can connect you to the Dutchman's, which is what we're going to see, and we're going to talk about later, that like hotel. But the woodsmen are here, and they're able to use this place to sort of appear and pop up in all different places. Even Hap's, the manager's room at Hap's Diner.
I was going to ask you this. What do you take it to mean that the woodsmen kind of operate this place? Because Mr. C doesn't go in on his own. He's led into it by a woodsman who meets him at the convenience store, and he doesn't go through the hallway until that one throws the switch and another one leads him down the hall. Are they kind of like not only transiting through it, but like I wonder if they're the ones that kind of operate it, that maintain it. They were there in the vision that Cole had in what was it, part 11 or so. Yeah, their connection to it's interesting.
When Mr. C says, "I'm looking for Philip Jeffries," the woodsman pushes down a lever, and that's when there's the wild flash, and you see the jumping man and the talisman. So for me, that is like a functional thing to connect, to align the place, to connect to the Dutchman's. But yeah, no, I think they live there. They at least they're operating the machinery. This guy went to school. He is certified in above the convenience store, multidimensional gatekeeping.
Apex Tech. You even get your own tool set whenever you graduate.
Yeah, absolutely. I mentioned Carlton Lee Russell is in it very briefly. That's the talisman guy, the jumping man. We saw him in Fire Walk with Me. We see him for a little bit. Mr. C, man, being escorted down that hallway, and again, you get the woods and the forest superimposed over it. It's great. We get to that staircase that we saw Gordon see, with all those woodsmen standing on it, leading to a door, which, we'll get to that later. But man, seeing him walk through that thing, and you're just thinking of this will look nice on your wall. So good.
I'm going to ask you a naive question, or stupid question, maybe.
Well, there are no stupid questions.
Where is the convenience store in America?
It moves around.
Okay, because I had assumed because of Part 8 that it was in New Mexico, but we're not told that.
Yeah, I feel like I was disagreeing with you there, but in a way of not disagreeing with you.
Okay.
Yeah, like I think I had said something, you're like, no, it's in New Mexico or whatever. But yeah, it is like, to me, and we see it literally
disappear,
transition out of space-time. It's like the Tremont's trailer that disappears in Fire Walk with Me.
What was here, Mr. Rod? Oh, trailer was here. What the hell do you think? Can you tell me whose trailer it was and who stayed in it? An old woman and her grandson.
Or the room that was near Harold Smith's, where Donna was able to go in, and then they went back in, and it was a different place.
She's pretty old. It might take a second if her grandson isn't here.
May I, help you?
Is Mrs. Tremont home?
I'm Mrs. Tremont.
Well, it must have been your mother I spoke to.
My mother? She passed away 3 years ago. I live here alone, honey.
Like, it's able to transport around, and this is the same. So maybe it'll appear in the desert, maybe it'll appear in Twin Peaks, maybe it'll appear.
That's great.
Wherever.
I like that as well, because when we do see it eventually disappear, I didn't know, is it gone? I mean, it couldn't be gone, but like, yeah. I didn't know exactly, but maybe it's now just it's rematerializing someplace else, and the fact that it was replaced with the trees. And that whenever it leaves, I'm jumping ahead. Anyway, but yes, this scene's just incredible to have that, again, really long shot in the dark that Lynch has used so often with Mr. C driving. It is that pitch black that you talked about in Part 8, that they wanted the darkness to be as inky black as possible. I feel like they did the same thing here. He pulls up to the convenience store, and there's a woodsman waiting for him. It's just such a creepy shot to see him in the distance getting closer. The way that they go up the stairs and they kind of, that blinking out of existence, that takes a little bit of time. I just love that effect. It's so simple, but it's so effective. I love that. But yeah, so we come in, we see the superimposing of the trees makes me think that that's what I was asking. Are we in the Pacific Northwest? Are we near because it feels like that sort of area? It doesn't really matter. It's, just the feeling that it evokes, I think, is much more important than the connections that it's making. But I really loved it. It's just beautiful.
Technically, we're in near Montana or somewhere around there, right? Because he was leaving the farm.
I don't know how far he drove. Richard follows him, so it must be close-ish.
Yeah, not too far away. But the idea even to say, like, we did so many Doctor Who things. I don't think it's like a TARDIS in the sense that it's physical and it may be here, maybe there. It's interdimensional, and you can probably reach it at certain points at any time. Like, because time is no longer like a thing. Like, so he knows to go here to get to it.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean if it's in South Dakota,
you can't get to it elsewhere.
It won't be here.
Sure.
Like, it's all of these places in my head.
No, I like that too. I mean, these things, the way they connect to the vortices as well. Like, I imagine they're all active at different times in different places, but that doesn't mean one's excluding the other.
I feel like it's one big junction box of electricity coming out of it, and you can ride the electricity to any number of points.
Ride the lightning. Also cool that we see the staircase walking up that Gordon saw the three woodsmen standing on before. So we return to that shot that we'd seen previously. Then we head up to the top of the stairs and we open the door. And I wasn't expecting this. Was not expecting to open the door. So transitioning into the next scene, basically, open the door to this wet and muddy courtyard. Did not expect that to happen. So we have Mr. C finally finds Philip Jeffries, who seems to have gone through some changes as he talks about Judy. I had to. I'm sorry. I couldn't help it.
I'm groaning in real time.
I don't
people.
care. I liked it.
No, man, it's so cool. This so cool that when the door opens and we are in a motel. I don't know if you look familiar to you. It's the same location, the Red Diamond City Motel from Fire Walk with Me.
Okay, cool.
Which is wonderful. And just the idea that you're going up the stairs of the gas station to go into this weird world, and then you're going upstairs again, and then you're all of a sudden on the level, flat land of the the courtyard of the motel.
Yeah.
Just so cool. And again, we remember staircases and multiple staircases from Dougie's homework. But the bosomy woman who comes up in that dirty nightgown is so fucking great. She's played by Malachi's Serenan. I'm not sure how to pronounce your name, but what a striking woman. What a scary person. She's going to unlock the door for him, talking backwards.
Yeah, unlock that door for you.
But her coming out of the darkness, like out of the shadows, something, we talked about darkness all the time. Lynch likes the idea of like people emerging from, and it's a scary, even his initial entering of the courtyard, and you just see the woodsmen that are just almost silhouettes. You can hardly see. They seem like nightmares on the periphery of your mind that are waiting for him and then start walking. Like there's always someone in the distance or in the shadows, but that they don't talk. Like it's a very uneasy feeling, and it's so cool. But then we're gonna go in. We're gonna go to room 8. So he's in room 8, Infinity closed loop system. And how dark it is in this hotel courtyard with the only light being the light outside room 8 is so striking. So why don't you tell me a little bit about the courtyard before we get into Mr. Jeffries?
Yeah, I know. I feel the same way. It was just such a shock to be. We're in this. I like the idea of a junction box. I really like that. But this conduit to another place. We're going up the stairs and we open it into a courtyard of a motel. And it did have that familiar feeling. But I think, there is this sense of like, in a certain way, the archetypical motel, they all kind of feel the same. They're all kind of nowhere. But I'm glad to see that it is the exact same place as we saw in Fire Walk with Me. So that's great to have that.
Yeah, same location, not suggesting they're going to the same location in the world, but it is the same location. It certainly could be. Got the jumping man, a little grandson there, but
even if it's not literally supposed to be the same thing, the feeling that it gives is really great. And you're right that it feels like a black and white scene. It is so stark in the shadows and the depth of the shadows and everything. I kind of like that, calling back in a way to part 8. Everything feels like it's in black and white to me anyway, in that noir mode. Absolutely right. The woman at the motel wearing a house coat and the slip dress under it, going to unlock the door. It's just so
dirty,
and it's so also mundane. It's so everyday. It's so interior and domestic.
Well, I don't know where you're living.
But at the same time, you haven't met my mom. But it's absolutely terrifying at the same time. So I really like this idea. Lynch has done this so many times of turning what is a normal feeling, everyday thing that people recognize into something that gets twisted into something that's a dark nightmare version of it. So, yeah, it's great. So then, we go to room 8. I was disappointed it wasn't a 7 or a 6, but 8 as an infinity eight's a good number. 8's a nice number too. Real cool. So
it's a great number.
We open the door and let's talk to Jeffries.
If you're going to replace David Bowie, this is how you replace David Bowie. Now, Lynch did an interview with Pitchfork in 2017, and it came up, and this is what he said about it. So I will read you. You'll learn a little bit about why they did what they did. So Pitchfork asks, or says, after making a cameo in 1992's Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me, David Bowie's character, Philip Jeffries, reappeared in this new series via footage from that film and as a big talking tea kettle. Did you ever approach Bowie himself to be in the new series? David Lynch says, absolutely. I never even talked to him, but I talked to his lawyer, and they weren't telling me why he said he couldn't do it. But then, of course, later on we knew. Now, this is me coming out of it. David Bowie's dying, unfortunately. He's sick, but he didn't really let very many people know that he was sick, which is why, as a huge Bowie fan myself, it was so devastating, because he drops this amazing album and then he dies a few days later. But so that was the reason why he's not in this. So Pitchfork goes on to ask, why did Philip Jeffries take the form of a tea kettle? And David Lynch says, I sculpted that part of the machine that has that tea kettle spout thing, but I wish I just made it straight, because everybody thinks it's a tea kettle. It's just a machine.
Yeah.
So I love the frustration, because people are always calling it a tea kettle. It is not a tea kettle. It is a machine. And last question, or the last thing that I'll include here. Did Bowie know that his character was going to appear in that capacity? David Lynch says, no. He didn't know that. We got permission to use the old footage, but he didn't want his voice used in it. I think someone must have made him feel bad about his Louisiana accent in Fire Walk with Me, but I think it's so beautiful. He wanted to have it done by a legitimate actor from Louisiana. So that's what we had to do. The guy did a great job. Now, of course, the guy he's talking about that they recast is actor Nathan Frizzle. A big shout out to the old comment we got on our part 2 episode about who voiced Jeffries. I told you we'd get there, and we got there. But if you're wondering, like, because it is a different voice, when you get the scene from Fire Walk with Me, the voice isn't quite David Bowie's voice. It was a choice that was requested from David Bowie, but as with all things Twin Peaks, you can add in a bunch of different meanings and onto that, but at least that was kind of illuminating.
I'm so glad to hear in that interview David Lynch pushing back on the tea kettle thing, because that is the shorthand that everyone uses everywhere, and I think it just detracts from this scene overall, because it is such a because he clearly, this is his vision for all of these machines. This is very reminiscent. It feels like it's coming from the same factory, the same universe as we see in the Fireman's. The bell kind of shaped thing that's in the Fireman's world, wherever he is.
Yeah, that tower, the fortress, that when they go up the tower, it looks like that.
Just the fact that it has that resemblance and that there's steam coming out of it didn't hurt. Drawing that comparison too. It's just unfortunate, because I think this is such a crazy, interesting scene that makes it, well, maybe it needs a little bit of levity too. Maybe that's fine. I guess for some people, they enjoyed the fact that it is absurd in an almost Dadaist way. But to me, it is a little distracting in a way, but which is fine.
Yeah, it didn't affect me in that manner. That where it felt like silly, or that it looked like like absurd. Not at all. No, I love that it communicates with steam and voice, both things, when we get the coordinates a little bit later. Yeah, that's a thing. It reminds me of the top from the tower, but also what the thing at the top of the tower reminded me of were those insulators used on electric poles. So it feels, although it's clearly metal, but it's just it's a really interesting design. That does even, I guess it is like a tea kettle. It reminds me, like, also of those, like, Middle Eastern tea kettles that the Palmers have on their mantelpiece.
Oh yeah,
going
Okay.
back to the which my dad had, which was, so it's that type of shape. Which, so of course, and to your point, you have steam coming out of it. You're going to think tea kettle, but it feels just so industrial.
Yeah.
That it doesn't make me think that's something I'm going to have a spot of tea with. But man, the flashing lights that are hitting Mr. C's face as he approaches is just wild. And Jeffrey, so there's a lot of back and forth. Jeffrey seems to have no idea that Ray is trying to kill Mr. C. And for me, I believe him. I think Jeffries was working with Ray in some capacity, but someone else contacted Mr. C and impersonated him. And I think that same person is the one who wore the prison guard uniform and gave Ray the ring. Now, dressing up like other people is something Wyndham Earle was quite fond of,
Oh, no.
Dan. So I have really started to lean into the idea that the imposter is Earle. How he got out of the Black Lodge, I don't know. but it lines up with being able to get past a lot of the FBI stuff, to have access to, I didn't have your number, is what this Philip Jeffries says. Earl would know. And Earl would also be, want to be with Bob again. We saw Earl with Bob in the lodge in episode 29. So, and plus he loves to dress up. What did he do more than anything? You need a horse. You need an English professor, right? You need a biker. Remember him, the biker
Yeah.
at the bar? Why not a prison guard?
Well,
so that's kind of where my head's going with the impersonator.
It doesn't actually have to be Wyndham Earle. It could have been his dark self that came out. I mean, it is not as though that, on the threshold, Hawk says the Nez Perce legend is you meet your dark self. It's not like you're meeting a mirror image. If you're a truly awful, evil person, that person you meet is like the good version of you. It's your shadow self. So it could be an even worse version of Wyndham Earle or something who's escaped. I like that idea. I think it's terrific. I'm imagining him dressed up as the log lady, though, when he's not in other costumes, because that was
There's
the most effective one throughout.
Yeah. So I that's sort of where my head has gone. And I think a listener had suggested that at some point. And
it's cool.
I've really taken to that idea. The numbers, I don't know if you're paying attention to the numbers that pop out: 48 degrees, 55 minutes, and a 1, which I guess is a 1 second, which is only one part of a set of coordinates. But if you put that in to the computer system, it comes up like at the border of US and Canada. It's basically only one of the coordinates. So It could be like England. It's basically
that's the latitude. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're missing the longitude to really pinpoint it. We're assuming he gets it. And thank God Mr. C has a notepad and a pen handy to just come out and like throw them coordinates down, just in case he had any notes. He didn't know how the meeting with Jeffries was going to go, but he was prepared for it. Time fans, take note. He says, "Did you call me 5 days ago?" Which means we are Mr. C in this moment is 5 days from part 2, but we're going to get to that in a bit. We could talk about all the things that get said. So I could just read all the things that get said, or we can just highlight it. The big one I really want to talk about is Mr. C saying,
"So it was someone else who called me."
We used to talk.
Yes, we did.
Well, now, I'm not going to talk about Judy. In fact, we're not going to talk about Judy at all.
1989. You showed up at FBI headquarters in Philadelphia and said you'd met Judy.
Now, either doppelgangers know the memories of their counterparts, or Mr. C was the person in Fire Walk With Me scene and not Cooper. But the bigger question is, what year is this? If Cooper met Jeffries in the Philadelphia office in 1989, Laura Palmer's last 7 days are said to be 1 year later, which puts Twin Peaks in 1990.
Oh, boy.
Which is when the show came out, but not when the story is presented. The story is presented that Laura is found on February 24th, 1989.
Oh, boy.
So we're already a year off, but we're tied to when the actual show came out. Now, there's probably some hyper fans right now going, yes, but the original script had the FBI scene actually happening in 1989, and then they moved it because the edit was better. Yes, but come on, don't ruin my Christmas. So what does all of that mean? The date does match Jennifer Lynch's Secret Diary of Laura
I was going to
Palmer,
ask. Okay, I thought I was going to say this is a third date now that gets all screwed in, but it actually mirrors that one, which is great because when we're talking about like characters breaking out of the show and the whole, we are watching the show that is aware of itself. This whole, the breaking out of its constraints. I like the fact that we're in a different sort of version of this universe that is more aligned with the fictional version that we watched as opposed to the quote-unquote real version that they lived. You know what I mean? Like, I like that it takes that piece.
I see, right. I take it away as the real world dates mixing in with the, story dates. And like the real world, and even the real world is technically, that's 1991 too when they were shooting that, so it's not really the real world. There's too many. You go crazy. You start thinking about these dates, but I love it. It's like a blending.
And the fact that you're saying that this version lines up with Jennifer Lynch's dates in The Secret Diary, right? So I like that because
the diary was 1 year off.
Because it supports it even more so because she was not a creator of the show. She was more of a person that was brought, like, it is still an outsider person who is observing the show and adding on to it. Like, I think it really works incredibly well. Going back a little bit to the conversation the two of them have, Jeffries is very oblique in the way he doesn't really answer any of the questions at all. So, Mr. C says, "Why'd you send Ray to kill me?" "What?" "I called Ray." Doesn't say anything about I didn't have him kill you. There's no denial there.
No, I mean he doesn't. But he does say, like, so you did send him. Did you call me 5 days later? I don't have your number. Like, there's a lot of that back and forth.
I don't have your number. We used to talk. So you are Cooper. I like that line. So you are Cooper. And so what do you have a preference about how to look at it? Is it that the doppelgangers are shadow selves? They have all the memories of their counterpart, or that in the field office it actually was somehow the doppelganger?
No. I say we are our shadow selves.
Oh.
The split between the light and the dark is in all of us. I am the dark Eric and the light Eric are talking to you at the same time. So yes, your shadow self has the same memories and lives your existence just like you do.
I prefer that as well.
There are two wolves inside of us. But, when he's pointing at him and saying, "Do you know who that is over there?" Sure, you could say that's actually, but does not line up with the way he talks to Gordon, and it's February 16th, and I was worried about the dream and all the things that I believe about that. And so, no, I think it's not that.
Yeah.
I think it's that you would have the same memories.
I like,
but man,
I like that you can read it either way, but I agree with you too. Okay.
Yeah, I have specifics about how I'm reading this stuff, but we got to talk about, I guess, the big question. Who is Judy?
Who is Judy?
It's Bob Engel's sister-in-law.
That's right.
Mystery solved. No, but he says you already met Judy. And obviously, I don't need to keep repeating myself, so I'll let you go. But I'll just say, for me, Judy is the knowing explanation, death of mystery. He knows Judy because Laura whispered Leland's name into his ear. So that's how it works for me. But what's your take on this? Who has he met in the past that would be Judy?
Yeah, no, I am on the edge of my seat to find out. And in fact, I didn't realize or know that Mr. C didn't know who Judy was. Like, I don't know how all these beings interact. Do they get together? We know that some of them hang out and meet above the convenience store. I didn't know that Judy was not a known entity to him as well. So I was just interested to see that. Like, we're all trying to figure this out. Even Mr. C is trying to figure this out.
We're all searching for knowledge, Dan.
Yeah. So that was very cool to me. So no, I don't have a theory about who it is yet. So
you could make an argument Judy is Laura, which I'll explain later. I don't believe that, but we can talk about that in a bit.
That's cool.
Such a great moment. Also, the phone rings. Mr. C answers, and he's taken outside, which is great because it explains why there's that phone outside. It's always that empty pay phone that we saw when we saw the convenience store. It's like he picks it up and it kicks his ass outside.
It made me laugh too because it is very the Matrix getting sucked out through the phone. I know it's not really a reference to it, but it just was funny to me that it's just like he's get pulled out that way, and that he glitches as he's still holding the receiver. I just love that effect and the way that he does it. Everything's kind of going jerky until he hangs up the receiver and he's back in our world again. That whole scene is amazing. And we didn't even mention really that when he goes into room 8, Jeffries isn't there. It's this like superimposed dimension on top of it. Like the wall disappears or the room extends, or it's just this like space within a space that is where Jeffries is. And then it, the phone rings, the wall kind of comes back in, or that dimension goes away or whatever. I think it's a very cool idea that these rooms are transdimensional in some sort of way. It's just awesome. From here, Eric, we're outside the convenience store and Richard confronts Mr. C and the pair take a ride.
Such a sad scene. Like the kid, Richard, chasing down Mr. C. We know that Audrey was pregnant. Like, we know that she had sex with John Justice Wheeler in a plane.
Yeah.
And we know that Mr. C was last seen leaving intensive care at Calhoun Memorial when Audrey was in a coma. So Richard is curious about who his father is. And he's got this picture that his mom had in her room, and he recognizes him from his picture. And, he's got to be thinking that there's a possibility that Mr. C is his dad. This is a kid that grew up without a dad. As a little kid, little kid Richard existed. There was a 7-year-old Richard that had no dad around, and who knows what was going on with his mom. We look at what all the scenes with Audrey.
Right.
So imagine what's going on with his mom. And he's going through her things, and he's trying to find himself and figure out who he is. And he's got this one picture of Cooper that he's focused on, like, could this guy be my dad? And then he sees him at the farm, and of course he's going to try to find him, and he just wants answers, and he's trying to make a connection. And Richard is not a good person. But I feel so much for him in the moment that he's finding Mr. C here, and then Mr. C just fucking knocks him the fuck out, and then takes him for a ride. The big thing is the text that is interesting, but we talked about the convenience store disappearing. Let me know what you think of this Richard conversation, and then I want to talk about the text.
Okay. The conversation is great. When Richard says that he recognizes him from a photo that his mom had, Mr. C, who is your mom? Audrey Horne. The kind of look on his face is something. The quick brutality that we saw the first time we saw Mr. C, and there's the guy out of the door with the shotgun, and he can take him down.
It's a world full of truck drivers.
It's a world full of truck drivers. You can take him down without even barely looking at him. Same thing happens here. He just spits to the side, draws Richard's attention to that, and just boom, 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 gets the gun, knocks him down. Don't ever threaten me again. Fantastic. Get in the truck. It's just a cool scene to see the two of them. But you're right. I mean, no sympathy for Richard, but definitely some empathy for what he's going through.
You got to put something better at your door, Dan. So the text, though.
Yeah.
The text. He texts Las Vegas ? To an unknown number.
Yeah.
Which is a text we saw Diane receive in part 12.
Right.
So you have to kind of say, there's one thing. There's one reading you could say, and I don't believe in it, which is you go into the place above the convenience store, and then when you pop out, maybe you're not quite on linear time, like you're in the past or you're in the future. I don't think that's the case. I think literally we're just seeing these two events happen simultaneously. So the events that are happening right now are in tandem with Diane getting that text. So this chronologically, we're seeing the story a little bit out of order, but that's what's happening here. So he's sending this now, but we saw her receive it several parts ago. That's the way I take it.
Or he's just really insistent and just keeps texting her until she answers about it. But no, I agree with that.
Sure.
Yeah, it'd be kind of nuts to...
Just seems... Now, I haven't thought it completely through where I look at every single element and try to line it up and do a cut where it was exactly in order.
Eric's going to put that together for the Patreon.
I'm not going to. I would never mess with Mr. Dwayne Dunham and David Lynch's work
How
here.
could you?
So I have nothing else here. We talked about how the convenience store disappears.
Yeah.
Which, reminds me of the Tremont's trailer
Fantastic.
disappearing. Dan, we've reached the halfway point, or as halfway as I can make it out to be. We're here to take a moment and thank the wonderful people that have opened their wallets, and all the frog moths have flown out and carried their coins and their beautifully decorated 4x3 paper money from Yugoslavia over to us. And of course, who am I talking about, Dan?
We got Chuck Stuffle. We got Gregory Flanagan, Don Adamo, Banjo Track, Eric Knopp, Charlie Tapper, Jake Jagello, Matthew Fuller, David Molito, Daryl Deason, Dana Gould, Jeff, Henrik E. Eric, who else do we have? I couldn't possibly go on.
Well, Dan, you could have concluded with concluding remarks. Brian Johnson, Meerkats, Raga Raven, Evan Fitz, Hazel Haywood, Ivan, William Schaefer, Jordan Carver, Matt W., Nick Webb, Kaylin Best Lawrence, he who is Clem Fandango, a.k.a. Luke P., Arthur Hill, Eva, Ben Chisholm, and Neil McKenzie. That's a lot of people in our Black Lodge now, and we welcome many, many more. So thank you all for supporting us and for continuing to keep the lights on.
Well, let's disappear out of here. We'll head out to the woods around Twin Peaks, where Cyril Pons walks his dog and he runs into Stephen and Gretchen, who are having quite an intense conversation.
Cyril Pons has seen better days, I think. I mean, he's
guess.
looking like he's completely off the grid, a long way away from reporting the news.
Yeah.
Played by, of course, Mark Frost. It was great to see Mark Frost in the world of Twin Peaks. Man, Gersten, Hayward, and Steven are recovering from some terrible event, which, you know, we have to think that he's killed Becky, right? The last time we see Becky, she's going to visit her mom. They tell each other they love her. Later on, at the end of this scene, we see the window from when he threw the mug out, and then rather than get a new window, they put the cardboard up. That's clearly like an explanation that you could go with.
And that's what I thought. Yeah.
Or what could be a broken window from a gunshot. He's like, I did it to, what he says, there is no why, I did do it.
There is no why. I did do it.
She did it. She did it.
Becky.
He could have killed Becky, and then he kills himself. So I don't know if you want to have a more optimistic reading. You can say nothing's happened and Becky is totally fine. She made it to the Double R, and they had that pie and coffee, and everything is great, and she's at home in that trailer. But the way that Carl looks at the trailer, and we see the violence, and we hear the stuff that he's saying and how he's acting, and he's fucking lit up, and she talked about how he wasn't acting right. I don't know if things look good for Becky. Maybe I'm just a dark dude. I don't know, but that's my take. The weird thing, or the thing that I want to talk about, is what he's talking about. First off, he says I'm a high school graduate, which really sends her off.
Yeah.
But he talks about it's gonna end it, and when I see you come up, I may not even see you there. I mean, gone.
I may not even see. I am even. I mean, gone. Where will I be? Will I be with the rhinoceros?
Will I be with the rhinoceros? Which a rhinoceros has a single horn, and I think of Audrey Horne, that he's literally thinking, if I kill myself in this story, where will I be? Will I be outside the story, like Audrey Horne, who is going through a whole bunch of weird shit inside and outside of the story? Like, I feel like he is so high that he is on the very edge of reality. Like, he's on his own threshold between fiction and nonfiction, you know, reality and this Twin Peaks tulpa that the dream that they're all living in.
I like that reading of Rhinoceros a lot better than what came to mind for me immediately was the conversation between Ella and Chloe about the penguin and zebras. So, because I had no idea where this was going at all, but I like that single horn thing, and it makes a lot more sense. But
yeah, and I always think the penguin is a nod to Cooper, and that she is Annie's daughter.
Oh, there you go. So just using animals as symbolism of the characters still works there too. Yeah, all right.
It could be. It may be nothing. I mean, it certainly could be nothing. But the rhinoceros, the single horn, him asking where will I be? I feel like he is contemplating, if you die in a story, what happens to you?
And he goes on to say right after that, the lightning in the bottle. And that's absolutely a way that you could describe the phenomenon that was Twin Peaks at the end of the first season. It was this moment in time, this capturing this thing that could only happen once. So thinking about that as a phenomenon, but also like this electricity, this being, this power contained inside a vessel, captured, trapped inside the story. Yeah, all these things are really interesting ways to read what is really a terrible, distressing moment that Steven's going through here.
When she's alone, when Gersten ends up alone under the tree, it reminds me so much of the diary. When Laura's under the tree and she's looking up and Bob is like she's
Oh,
visions
yeah.
of Bob. She's thinking about Bob watching her. She, she defiles herself in the moment,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
does whatever she does. Like defiles the wrong word, but seeing like when she looks up and you get her POV of the woods, it's just so scary, and there's so much darkness, and the music is just perfect. And then that's what follows. That is she hears the gunshot, which for me is him ending his life. So he's killed himself because he's done this terrible thing to Becky. I think it's looking at your face, you have the brighter future. I'm hoping you are correct. And then we see Carl, and when Carl hears the news, that's when he looks at that window, and you see that broken window. Whether it's the mug went out or something else happened inside of there, I think like, is she in that freaking trailer? Like, what's going on inside that trailer?
God.
That's me. But man, and we'll never know. We'll never
Well, I
know.
was just going to ask then, since we're talking about the end of character stories, obviously it's the end of Steven's story. We don't see Becky again, I presume then, or you'd have an answer to what that story is. So
I don't know. I don't want to ruin things if people are waiting and then they're like, oh, okay. So yeah, we don't see Becky
okay,
again.
yeah. I mean, the whole mental crisis that Steven is having, whatever brought it on, because at the beginning of their conversation, Gerson's saying to him, "Steven, stop it. Oh, what the fuck did she give you?" Um, he was stoned, whatever. So it doesn't really sound like that's what Becky would do. Well, I guess they were doing drugs together, so who knows? I don't know. It's crazy, and I do like the line of when he's saying, "Will it be the rhinoceros, the lightning in the bottle, or will it be completely turquoise?" Calling himself a color is just is great too.
Yeah, it's an interesting color too.
Yeah, that
Turquoise is like a greenish
it's a
color, right?
blue-green, yeah.
Like a Formica tabletop
Oh, could be.
color. Green is its color,
Yep.
Dan. It's interesting.
This is and knowing, he says, "Oh fuck, I feel something. This is the end. I got a duty to do." So he's like playing out the story that was written for him. Yeah, it's great. It's crazy.
He's just working that leg. He's
Oh,
just like
really?
working, like hitting his leg. Like now, if he was rubbing his arm, we'd all be all over it. We'd be like, his arm's gone numb. But they throw a leg at you, you don't know what to
Well,
do.
maybe put the ring on his toe. We don't know.
He's got to get off that sparkle.
All right, we're gonna head out of the woods and go to the roadhouse. A bar fight breaks out after James says hello to Renee.
Man, at the Roadhouse, everybody gets to listen to ZZ Top, Sharp Dressed Man, just over the speakers, which is so great. This is one of David Lynch's favorite songs as well, and he wanted to get ZZ Top, and for whatever reason, it didn't work out. But he still gets ZZ Top playing at the Roadhouse, even if it's just on an iPad or an iPod or whatever.
Well, that explains why there was the MC on the stage, like basically pushing play on a CD player. But okay, that's fine. All right, cool.
I love it, like the volume, like just going, like it's just so loud. These all go to 11.
It's cool.
It's awesome. Yeah, so that's great. James, poor James, man. What a hard life they've given him. Like, he lost Laura, he lost Donna, she's not around. He was in this terrible accident. He is considered slow. People talk about him. He's just slow now, Shelley says. He stutters, and he's stuck in the same town. He's working for the Horns. Maybe it's a good job. I don't know. He doesn't seem, like he's biking around. The old James was moving city to city or just driving to California, wherever he was going, hanging out, fixing your car. If you need a car, you want your car fixed, James would drive to you. Now he's just kind of sedentary and stuck. And we get to see here the power of the glove, the power of the green glove, and it will kill dudes. So yeah, we knew Renee was married. Poor James tries to talk to her. We get to meet Chuck, who's played by Rod Rowland. His friend is Skipper, played by Casey O'Neill, who is a stunt performer. I like that they're casting, there's the multiple stunt performers become actors in the show, which is cool. So I don't know. We could talk a lot about Audrey at this point, or I don't know if you want to say anything about this fight here. I love James saying, someone dial 911, and want the 119 lady to scream after him. But I got a lot of stuff to say about trying to figure out Audrey. But
yeah, no, I don't think there's really a whole lot to say here. The only thing that really I thought it was crazy. Freddy trying to pull his punch, and even when he does that, can't. And just completely destroys these guys. And when James says, "Oh God, his eyes don't look right," and he's salivating, foaming at the mouth. God, it was awful, just awful.
It's a good way of like seeing the capabilities of this magic glove or this green glove or all the power.
Yeah,
that must be so intense that it will literally almost kill somebody if you get hit by it.
it's like that 1-inch punch, but yeah, absolutely destroyed him.
So we learn Renee's husband is Chuck, right?
Yeah.
So according to Audrey, Chuck told Audrey that Tina was the last person to see Billy.
Yeah.
Audrey says Chuck is certifiable. Now, if you remember, Megan was quote unquote hanging out at the nut house.
Right.
Megan's mom is Tina.
Yep.
Charlie calls Tina to find out that Billy apparently saw Chuck steal his truck. So that's the first time we hear about Chuck. Then we hear about Tina. Then we're calling Tina. The truck was later found. Billy came out of his house and saw Chuck driving his truck. That's apparently how we know that Chuck stole the truck. Megan, as I said, was hanging out in the nut house. Chuck is certifiable. Her mom is Tina. Megan saw Billy at her house with her mom, Tina, and her uncle. Billy was bleeding and on the run. He jumped over a 6-foot-high fence. We also know Angela was supposed to show up at the roadhouse but hasn't, and that she might be off her meds, which again, that's a connection to quote-unquote nut house or certifiable or psychiatry or some kind of mental thing. There's multiple things in these seemingly unconnected pieces that have some connections between them, but there's lots of these things that keep recurring, and that something bad happened to her mom. We also know that something bad happened to her mom. Trick, as you remember, also arrived and said he was almost run off the road. So was he almost run off the road? We said maybe by Richard. Could he have almost been run off the road by Chuck, who was still stealing the truck and going in? And it's a lot. We're getting all of these freaking crazy stories, but more of them are connecting now to Audrey, who seems to exist in this other world, but she is referencing things that are happening at the roadhouse where the story is telling her to go.
That's incredible.
Yeah, I don't have anything more than that. Just wanted to lay it all out there, and
he's out of red string.
Try to make sense.
This is what we can connect the moment. All right. Well, if we're ready to leave Twin Peaks for the moment.
Yeah, there is a piece of red string you should write in your diary. Maybe certifiable nut house medication. Okay.
All right. With that chemicals, he points. All right, let's head out to Las Vegas. At the FBI field office, a different Douglas Jones and Janie are brought in with their kids for questioning.
Yeah, they found a Douglas Jones, Dan, but it's not the right one. I love that they're all in bathrobes. This Jane, I think they call her Jane and Douglas Jones. There is a really great behind the scenes video. You may have seen it. It goes around a lot. And it's a clip of Lynch directing the kids in this scene.
Can you do it? Can you do it? Crawl and cry like a baby. Alden, do that thing. That would be so beautiful. That's great, like that. Can you make noise? Keep making noise. Make some crying noise, some sad, loud crying noises. Don't be happy. Don't be happy. Roll around and be upset. Roll around and be upset. There you go. That's beautiful. Roll back the other.
And he's like talking to him. He's like, cry like a baby. Come on, Aiden. Cry like a baby. Oh, it's so beautiful, Aiden. Yeah, and I'll drop the clip in. It's wonderful. So getting these kids to do the screaming. It's such a great little sight gag. Do you need this scene? No. Do you need this scene? Yes. Because it's incredibly funny. And I love it when he just hears like kid. What do you mean, kids? And the door just opened, and it's also the grandmother or something.
Sure.
Right? It's like the mother-in-law is there as well. They're all in bathrobes. It's just a great moment.
It's great. I mean, when he's just saying kidza, and Wilson realizes, oh, I know what I did, and the look on his face as he turns and walks the other way down the hallway, and Wilson, it's terrific. Yeah, we needed a moment like this. Like, that was great.
Yeah. Watching David Lynch direct these kids is such what a
I
talent
gotta look
that
that
we
up.
lost in that man. It's so great.
Gotta look that up.
He's directing dogs, he can direct kids, he works with anybody. He just seems like he can work with anybody.
All right, Eric. From the field office in Las Vegas, we'll head over to Mr. Todd's, where Chantal takes care of business.
Yeah, Chantel pays Mr. Todd a visit, huh? They had a
We do.
twofer. We talked about the twofer however many parts ago, and here's part 1. So we get part 1 of our twofer. I love that she hears, like, she does the job,
Uh-huh.
is leaving, still talking about fast food, French fries, or whatever he's getting for her. And she hears, like, the labored breathing and has to go back to finish the job.
Yep.
And she's just kind of annoyed. And pour one out for Roger. Poor Roger, just in the wrong place at the wrong time. He's taken off the board even though he wasn't necessarily a target. And poor Chantel, because she wants to torture them and she's not getting the chance.
Yeah. We do find out at this scene they haven't heard from Anthony Sinclair yet, so
Yeah, he's gone good.
he's gone. Well, yep.
Well, we hope.
Yeah,
we hope.
we
he's
hope
gone
he
good.
has. I don't know if he's gonna have to testify against Mr. Todd now, but all right. Yeah, Chantal's kind of casual, like just put out, like, oh shit, has to go back and shoot him again. It's great. And she's waiting for the elevator. It's just, yeah, French fries and extra ketchup. Just fantastic. This is just a day at the office. All right. Well, we'll head to a different office. Back in Twin Peaks at the sheriff's station, James and Freddie meet the gang in the holding cells.
They got to put more people in these holding cells. Yeah, the drunk. I don't think I named the drunk last time. It's Asen or Asen. It's 2 A's S-E-N. He had been an assistant to David Lynch for a number of years.
Oh, wow.
He's an associate producer on Inland Empire. I like James, right? So James gets put into cell number 7.
Yep.
So he gets the old lucky 7, and he's just so concerned about the health of the other guys. And he was like that too. We didn't really talk about that in the scene. He clearly loves this woman, or he pines over this woman who's married, classic James. But he feels so bad about what's happened.
Yeah.
He feels bad in the moment of the fight. He's trying to do right, and here he is. Why is he getting arrested? I don't know. I guess because he was there. All he did was really just get beat up. It wasn't like he was actually knocking anyone out. But that's the Twin Peaks style, because we've seen this before. We saw James get put in a cell just like this back in the original series. It's very reminiscent when he was placed in the cell where Bobby and Mike were, where they started barking at him. Freddie gets put in number 8. Again, the infinity symbol, so strange things happening in number 8. Chad says a line, "What did the glove freak do now?" So there must have been past incidents or something that's happened with Freddie.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I kind of glossed over that, but that's true. What else? I mean, he doesn't really can't control his strength, so I'm sure there's been accidents. He's only had it for 6 months. Yeah, we find out both of the guys are in intensive care. At least they're alive for now. But yeah, that's crazy. And then we get to end this scene with more monkey sounds. So what's not to love about it? That presumably then puts NATO in cell 1. So if 1, 2, 7, 8, and 10 are being occupied at the moment. Just in case we have room at the inn for more people to fill up.
Who's in 10?
10 is Chad.
Oh, Chad's in 10. Okay.
Eric, tell me about this tender moment between Chantal and Hutch.
I don't have much to say about that. They're driving in the next target. When he says so-called Christian nation, hard agree, I think, with Hutch. They make a good couple, even though they're horrible. They're murderers and assassins. She mentions Mars, and it's just a cool cut, the red planet to the red door.
Huh?
We hear about Jupiter and Saturn in conjunction and stuff, but here we get a reference to Mars, the god of war. But it was cool just to go from Mars to a red door. It was neat. But what do you have to say?
Yeah, I mean, we talked about this briefly before, but this is one of those scenes that feels very, in the best way, like a Tarantino sort of thing. These two assassins between jobs and just having these kind of both mundane conversations because they're just eating fast food and complaining about the size of the ketchup packets while also talking about, thou shalt kill and all that, like having these conversations too. Yeah, in that moment did you get me started? I did. I love you, Hutch. That's great. And just ending with this beautiful night. And it's like a dark night. You can't see anything except that and the You just see the power lines. It's fantastic. It's such a good little scene. Love the two of them and could take so much more. Um, Other people I love, the Joneses. So let's head over there. Um, at the Jones house, all of Janie's dreams continue coming true, and Cooper has a shocking insight.
I've been waiting to talk about this scene since part 3.
I bet.
Yeah, so first off, he's getting eating that chocolate cake that he loves. What a good boy Dougie as he gets that nice piece of chocolate cake. She tells him how happy she is. She says all of our dreams are coming true. This is a world fueled by dreams. We are just in a complete total we are living inside a dream. We have dreamed something, we're living inside of it. And so now, after she leaves or she goes off to another part of the kitchen, he's watching the TV and Sunset Boulevard comes on. And there's the mention of Gordon Cole.
Get Gordon Cole. Tell him to forget about our car. Tell him he can get another old car someplace. I'll buy him.
The character name in Sunset Boulevard, which, of course, is a reminder to Dougie, or to Cooper within Dougie, of his friend Gordon Cole, right? But it's also a reminder of where the idea for that character's name came from, a place in the real world. And where do ideas come from? They come from the ocean of pure consciousness, the Purple Sea area. And you think back all the way back in part 3, cast back your mind, Dan. Cooper arrived at the outlet in the fortress in the ocean of pure consciousness, and the receptacle was set to 15. And NATO warned him, like, do not do it. She made a motion across her neck, signifying death, right? That's when she goes up the ladder, she gets knocked off, and Cooper goes back down, and the machine is now set to 3. This is the point Dougie Cooper enters the show, part 3. Here, in part 15, is the point where Dougie Cooper will leave the show via the same type of receptacle. So, boy, yes, this is more fuel for the inside-outside of the show.
God, I love that. I did not put together the episode part numbers and the 315.
Which is also his room at the Great
That's
Northern, as you know.
terrific. Well, it all just put each of these pieces together. God, that's fucking cool. All right. Yes. I'd like the Janie there. Do you think, is this the same chocolate cake from Sonny Jim's birthday? Is it stale by now? Or is Janie's making new cakes every day?
I didn't think it could be, or is you making a new cake? That's an excellent point.
I think it's lovely. When she's sitting beside him, she needs that reassurance. Is it good, Dougie? And he's nodding. All of our dreams are coming true, and Dougie repeats true. I think that's important here because now he's starting to see the truth. He's starting to come back to himself more than he has before. And he's just, absently playing with the things like rearranging the salt and pepper shakers and then clicking buttons on the remote until it turns on. And it happens to turn on, again, Deus Ex Machina, turn on to Sunset Boulevard, to that scene, which not only says Gordon Cole, but also the scene starts with the saying, we're going to get the old team together. Nothing can stop us.
I'm not worried. Everything will be fine. The old team together again. Nothing can stop us.
The old team. Yeah.
So like completing the circle and bringing all the people together. So it's a perfect scene for this. And I love, like you're saying, it is this crossing the boundary between the show and the real world, or the two informing each other is great.
And with that, getting the gang back together too, it's like reminiscent of Margaret saying the circle is missing a member, right? It's not quite complete.
Now the circle is almost complete. Watch and listen to the dream of time and space.
Yeah, so he sees the scene, the get Gordon Cole. The look on his face is awesome, and the tracking shot over to you hear the buzzing start, and it goes down to the outlet, and he has the fork in his hand, and I love that he tries to do it one way, it doesn't work, and we all know what's going to happen, and he flips it around to the other side. But then it's that brilliant white light. Like, it is outsized for what happens, so it has to be much more significant than just the power going out. It is this dream, this waking up. Everything is this bright white. She screams, Janie does. So you hear Sonny Jim, Mom, what was that? and then it all fades to complete black from there. So it really does feel like a moment of waking up from a dream. I think it's so cool.
That's where I connect a lot to as well. Is like when he hears that Gordon Cole and he looks over and that humming sound, and it's like, here's your idea. This is where ideas come from. Such a great little moment. Short little great moment.
It's fantastic. All right, so leaving the Joneses, we'll head back to Twin Peaks, where Margaret makes a final call to Hawk, and the good ones at the sheriff's office mourn her loss.
So this scene starts, we have that wonderful little exterior. It opens on an exterior of Margaret's cabin with her light on. And then we cut over to Hawk sitting down, and he's got his own little log cabin on his desktop, which to me always felt like a way of keeping her in the scene with him, with her not literally being in the scene with him. She says death is just a change and not an end, and it's not lost on us that this follows that scene with Dougie, or at least it's not lost on me, that it's not death, it's a change, and what changes are coming. There's some fear in letting go. Like, it's just so it's quite sad. So let's talk about Judy. I'll talk about Judy before I get too sad. So she says, watch for that one, the one under the moon that I told you about. Now that is the symbol on Hawk's living map. That is the symbol that was on the card that Mr. C had, that we have said is Judy, or at least is Judy to me. And it's the symbol appears under the moon on his map. So it matches, watch for that one, the one under the moon. Now, this is where you could argue Judy is Laura, because Laura is the one. She's talking about the one under the moon. And you could say Cooper did meet Laura. I don't believe this. I think it's just worth highlighting because, you could certainly make a connection if you wanted to, or Judy's her doppelganger or something that we had seen in episode 29. Not for me, but hey, I gotta point this stuff out as I see it. Okay, so Michael Horse saying goodbye, Margaret.
Goodbye, Margaret.
And the weight of what that means, to say goodbye to your friend, to somebody that you worked with. Now, this was recorded after she was already gone. So he is really saying goodbye. He knows in that moment that he's doing the scene that she's left the world. And there's a great extended clip of Michael Horse from the film I Know Catherine the Log Lady about shooting this scene.
It wasn't really a sadness, It was because to me, she's always going to be there. Once you meet somebody and then they're always going to be with you. And when people ask, we'll talk about it right now. What was that like in that scene? And I said, I didn't want to be sad. People say, why didn't you cry or anything? I said, I just wanted to portray her bravery and her dignity and her artistry, both as the character and as the human that she was. And I wanted to say goodbye. It's not like, I'm sad. You're going someplace else. I will miss you. I will love you. The fans will miss you. And they will love you. And I'll see you somewhere down the line. And I thought to myself, just with that one goodbye, Catherine, that's what I tried to portray. Didn't have a thought process about it at the time, but didn't want to really be sad about it.
And then you see the moon obscured by darkness, and you're reminded of what Margaret told Hawk, what will be left in the darkness that remains. And as she says, as he says goodbye, Margaret, and then we go into the conference room, man, Hawk breaks the news. Frank's there, Lucy's there, Andy and Bobby, and says the log lady has died. Now, in reality, they are dealing with Catherine Coulson's real death. But what a heavy load, for the cast and the crew, her family, Lynch, his old friend, all of that. They shot this stuff. So she was supposed to be in the show. They sent a camera crew to her house. You can find the whole wonderful story in that documentary. I know Catherine, the log lady, but they shot this, and then afterward, they literally over Zoom, Lynch said goodbye to Margaret. Everybody was sort of listening. It was just a really nice moment, but it was really a goodbye. And then she passed away several days later. So while they're shooting, the news then spreads on set. So actors start seeing people crying and like producers coming out and stuff. So all of a sudden, Lynch was like, "We're shooting the scene." And this is what's really cool too, is I can't remember if this was, I think this was in the documentary. You know that wonderful shot of the sheriff's station with the light coming through the trees?
Yeah.
I think that's what they were shooting when he heard that she died. And he has said, like, that was Catherine, like the light that was coming over the trees was Catherine,
That's right.
which, God damn it, man. And so everybody's crying. The whole news is going on. So they do this scene. They all go together. All the emotion that you're seeing is real. And it's not just them. Like, it's not just them. It's also Lynch who's out, like the crew. It's like that whole thing is like this moment of grieving behind the camera and in front of the camera. It's just so powerful. You really got to go watch that movie if you haven't watched that movie. You can buy it through us, and $5 goes to the Oregon Shakespeare Festival, or buy it for whoever you want to buy it from. But it's worth watching. It's just it's rough. It's a rough thing. I get upset if you think about it too much, but give me your thoughts on Michael Horse. God damn it, he does such a great job in the moments that he has.
Actually, I really don't have anything to add beyond this. My notes are just, Jesus, this is hard to watch. It really is, because it is the end for her, knowing her time is coming. For Michael Horse, and the other side of this, knowing that he is literally saying goodbye to her. Yeah, it's touching.
Yeah, and you think about all the actors that Lynch has worked with at the end of their lives. I don't know if you've seen The Straight Story. Oh, so such a wonderful, beautiful movie. But Richard Farnsworth, who's the lead of that movie, was riddled with cancer when he was making that movie. This wonderful, the scene with Catherine, all the stuff that came out, and how hard it was for her to perform and everything, and the inner turmoil with trying to get her to do this thing. But the lines that she's saying, like she's talking about dying
Yes.
while
Yeah.
she's dying.
Yeah.
Now, I can say if I was making it, would I have written those lines for her? Or would I have overthought it and not gotten what we got out of it? And the fact that this will live on in such a beautiful way, and it's so human. Like it's a snapshot in time of a wonderful human being at the edge of life death, reflecting on it inside of a world built by her and all of her friends. Like there's so many levels of like beauty and sadness and all of it together. And that's what's really good about the documentary too, is when you hear these interviews from the cast. It's very sad. They're all sad, but it's not like I'm going to say it's not a sad thing, but that's kind of what it is. Like there's almost like a joy in a way to the performance, because she was someone that wanted to perform until she died, and that's essentially what she did, which is great.
Well, I think it's in a way, it's love. I mean, the love of this project, the love of the people that she worked with, the love of the character that she created that is so memorable. But I think you're right, for David Lynch to write this for her, and it feels so true at the same time, and in the way that she performs, it feels honest. So not only these moments of, it's time, I'm dying, are things that she could be saying herself, but saying through the character, in addition to the things that are part of the story that are happening. My log is turning gold. The wind is moaning. I'm dying.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that line. I'm glad you said that. Yeah, my log is turning gold. Jeez, what a great line. And seeing the light turn off in the cabin.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, that's
It's wonderful.
That's just beautiful. What else is beautiful, Dan?
What else is beautiful is Audrey and Charlie's relationship.
A hard scene to come off of that.
It really
And then we're
is.
just like,
There's
we're going to
no
go over
easy
to
transition here.
Strangeville. Yeah.
Well, over at Audrey and Charlie's house, they bicker at the threshold as they get ready to maybe go to the Roadhouse.
Billy
Who knows?
hated that place. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, his choice of words, talk me to death on the threshold. So yeah,
Yes.
we've heard about the concept of the dweller on the threshold, the shadow self in the lodge, and that's what Hawk's words. But here, to me, it's the threshold's the point, inside outside of the story. She's ready to leave wherever she is and enter this story. She's right on the edge. Get to the freaking Roadhouse. We want you to do what you're going to do at the Roadhouse, but she's not. It's not quite working out. And I like her line, like when she realizes, like, Charlie's not who she thinks he is. Like, I feel like I'm meeting a different person. Who are you, Charlie? It's great.
Which makes me think of Laura saying, "Who are you?" Bringing that to mind as well. I don't know there's a direct connection, but it's the first thing that I thought of when I saw that. But that, the performance that she gives is really wonderful because Audrey feels like she's just at the edge of realization of something, but then she slips back into like, oh God, you're just the worst. Like she's like these patterns that seem like they've built up over time of nagging and bickering, whatever. And then almost realizing, like, I don't know what's happening. I can't trust myself, like we saw in one of her previous monologues. It's great. She does such a beautiful job of just on her face, like, the confusion that comes across it before she slips back into this character, maybe. I still don't know what to make of all this, but I love it.
Yeah, I think she's on the edge of a deeper revelation that maybe she's not ready for, or that hasn't been able to there's a choice to go this way and be in this world, or to go that way and maybe be in another world. And I feel like, you can see her realize that what she's seeing isn't real. And then she, like you're saying, she gets pulled right back. I love when she's like, when she says something like, who are you? I don't know who you are. She goes, he says, I am me. And he is Billy, which is the difference between him versus there's a difference between like him versus the idealized version of him. This Billy Zane versus the husband that she actually has. Like this reality versus dream world, and it's cool, super confusing, but cool.
It's wild to think throughout all of this, the Billy they're talking about is Billy Zane. It's just really no. I like the idea. I don't know. I'm not saying it's necessarily true. I just like that it's wild as an idea of like, have you seen Billy Zane? It's terrific. All right, let's end it as we often do back at the Roadhouse. The Veils play Axolotl. Yeah, sure, I did it.
Yeah,
the Veils play Axolotl, and Ruby waits for someone.
I'm glowing bright obsidian, axolotl amphibian, unelemental chemical. Got me growing 6 like tentacles. A little nightmarish, a little maudlin. Good God, go get that kid some maudlin.
This song is a banger. Now I gotta mention Dune.
It's obligatory every episode.
Which has the concept of golas. If you're not familiar, there's something akin to clones, but different. Not quite clones, but I'm not going to go into all the details about golas. But they're created in axolotl tanks. Now, this song was created before that, so I'm not suggesting it is. It's just a nice connection for me.
That's just.
I'm not saying
that's
it
just
has
one
deeper
for Eric.
meaning than that. Yeah. Well, when you deal with tulpas, and you've got manufactured people, and that's what you would build them in an axolotl tank. No,
just what the axolotl is this crazy weird amphibian.
It's an animal. It's like a salamander.
Yeah, it's a little salamander thing.
Like a frog moth. Like a
It really does very much look like a frog moth. It is kind of weird. It has like almost like feathery gills on the side of it. But anyway, don't know. There's a deeper meaning to it than
how the Veils got into this show with their song Axolotl. So Dean Hurley, who we've talked about, is the supervising sound editor. He's working with Lynch. He's done so much amazing music, like I highlighted Seven Heaven. Last time we talked, or 2 times ago we talked, he did an interview with KEXP, and he talked about the Veils and how they got in it. So this is what he had said. He had said he met Finn Andrews, and they did a song together called In the Nightfall.
And I had played that song for David, just like with a no expectation, thinking, well, if he responds to this, then, I just wanted to see how he responded to it. He didn't really say, oh, let's put this in the Roadhouse. But a couple weeks later, as Finn was kind of delivering and showing me different mixes from the album, he had Axolotl, and I remember hearing that. It's produced by LP, who's like touring now as like half of Run the Jewels, and I played it for David, and of course I didn't tell him anything about it, but he heard the song, and he immediately was like, this is amazing. He was like, it sounds like Gene Vincent produced by a hip-hop guy. And those are the types of things that I think spark David's mind and makes him go, this is interesting. Music here is colliding. I played for him, and he immediately was like, this is going in the Roadhouse. I love this song.
The version that you hear in the show is different than the album version. It's called the Roadhouse Mix, which you can also buy if you buy the music from the Roadhouse, and it's also on streaming platforms and everything. It is so great. It is such a perfect song.
It's definitely got that Roadhouse energy, and I can imagine Lynch hearing that and being immediately able to picture it. This would be a song that's at the Roadhouse. So yeah, it fits perfect. I don't have anything, the lyrics are interesting, but it's not one that was really made for the show. But, it's nice when those things complement everything, even if it is coincidental. But, serendipity really plays a role in so much of what we see in this show. And that's terrific. But yeah, let's talk about Ruby.
Yeah. So to me, this is like giant metaphor. It's like another metaphor for Twin Peaks. There's young people at the mercy of scary men who just toss these young girls around, and there they are under our feet in darkness, in distress, and the music's playing. They're unseen, and we don't even know they're there until they're screaming and it's too late. And we only see them and recognize them when they're in pain, and when it's too late, as I said. Ruby is played by Charlene Yee, who you have to, if you haven't seen it, and I can't put an audio clip because you have to visually see it, but if you ever seen her turtle eating impression on Conan, it is incredibly funny.
I like her a lot. She's really funny, but I know I haven't seen that. That's really good.
Yeah. Yeah, you do yourself a favor. Maybe I'll find a place to put a link to the YouTube video. But yeah, no, to me, that's all of it. And it's so well timed. Like, this song is perfect for building up the scream as she's like looking around. But I don't know, what's your take?
Can I give you a different take on the metaphor? Yours is great. Feels real, feels dark. Mine's a little bit maybe out there, but she's us. She's sitting in the Roadhouse waiting for something to happen. She's been sitting here this whole time waiting for someone. She's waiting for Cooper to come back. She's waiting for the characters. She's waiting for her Twin Peaks to come back. And where she's in the Roadhouse, where we've seen all these characters that have nothing to do with the stuff that we've talked about. A dozen characters' names who keep getting referenced. We have no idea how or if they even fit into any of this. These 2 bikers come up, pick her up, and just set her on the ground. And she starts crawling through this crowd of people who we only see their legs. We don't know their stories. We don't know anything about them. She's just crawling through and making her way through. And as she screams, the lights start flashing in a similar sort of white light as we see Cooper leaving in Las Vegas as well. So to me, like, I could absolutely read this as another like audience stand-in metaphor for like, we've been waiting for these moments to come. And is it now? Is this the thing that we've been waiting for? So anyway, I felt that way about Ruby. I don't know who else should be waiting for it, but I'm waiting for Cooper, and I'm hoping this is the time for it.
Sure. Yeah, no, I can see that. I think I lean a little bit more towards my theory, Dan, because I feel like I would be like, Ruby, what have you been watching? Have you not watched all of the episodes up? Things are happening in ways that we've been talking about for hours and hours. Yes, totally makes sense.
Nothing good happens to those booths, especially to women.
To me, just seeing a younger, and we saw Richard attacking those smoking babies. We've seen violence on the floor of the Roadhouse just in a scene earlier, but her sitting there and then those guys coming up and literally picking her up and throwing her on the ground, and her just crawling until she screams, and the electric, which is, Laura Palmer's scream, and the flashing lights of her on the gurney or whatever. It's like we're not paying attention to the stuff that's right below the surface.
Yeah, and I will say, I know there's just, you were speaking off the cuff, but they don't throw her. I like that they pick her up and place her on the ground,
Yeah, I
which
guess,
is a
yeah.
really funny detail.
Right.
They don't like get up and get out. They don't say anything. They just literally pick her up and set her down. She's almost like boneless, just like, I guess I'm sitting here now, is really funny to me. And that because it was so tense as they're like standing up, looming over her. To your point of like this violence against women, I don't know what they're about to do, but they just want their seats and they set her down so they can drink their beers. Dismissive and
Right.
yeah,
She's a
so
non-entity
violent in
to
a
them.
different way in their indifference to her, but thank God it wasn't much worse, like the smoking babies.
Yeah, maybe violence is the wrong word, but it's a
Yeah,
a
for sure.
disregard for the
Yep.
children of this time.
Okay, so from the Scream, we end on the credits out at the Dutchman at the motel. We get a couple different shots of it.
Yeah, that's really cool that we return there. And a instrumental version of the same song is playing.
It's really cool. We get a couple different shots, and then in the last shot, you do see the woman in the bathrobe in the distance. Yeah, just standing there. If you were paying attention, you wouldn't. She'd blend in perfectly. It is interesting that the episode is in memory of Margaret Lanterman, because we have seen, unfortunately, several other actors pass away throughout the filming of this, and we get the actors' names here. So. But it's just an interesting detail. Love ending at the Dutchman. Yeah, anyway, what a friggin' amazing episode. So much. I'm so glad we got kind of dug into some of these things. It's so many details and the way that everything is coming together. Things like you keep mentioning. I talked about this in part 2, or I talked about this in part 9, and now we're finally get to see these things pay off. And I feel like we're just going to keep hitting a bunch of those as we end our run of these conversations.
Yeah, the 15 I've been waiting for forever because I just think that's so cool that it says 3 and she goes in 3
so cool.
and it says 15 and
Can't
it goes
wait.
right for the electric socket. Yeah, so next time it's part 16 and then
It's the last 3.
Last
Can
3.
you believe it?
Last 3 are coming.
All right, folks. Well, thank you so much for listening. Thanks for everyone who's a supporter of the Black Lodge or just joining us on the Patreon as well. So we'll see you over there. Until next time.
It's good night, everyone.
Thank you for listening to the Meanwhile podcast with Dan Johnson and Eric Grissom. If you would like to support the Meanwhile podcast, join our Patreon. It's available right now. You can sign up, and for just a few dollars a month, you can keep this show going, and you can get access to some exclusive podcasts and some secret stuff that you're not going to find anywhere else. So if you'd like to join, go to ericgrissom.com/meanwhile and look for the Patreon link. If you like our show, please consider rating and reviewing the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you're hearing this now. Meanwhile is produced by Eric Grissom and Where's My Robots? The Meanwhile theme song is written and performed by Paul Finn and Evening Pines. If you want to let us know what you thought of the show, you can reach Dan at danjnj.com, both on the web and on Blue Sky. Eric can be found on Blue Sky at ericgrissom.com, which is also his website. It's also me, right? That's weird. We'll see you again. And in the meantime, be good.
Listen to the sounds.
Meanwhile.
Where's my robots, you know?